is up, my beautiful people? My name is G-Vans and welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to be talking about the new album by Kota the Friend entitled Everything. This is the second studio album by Kota the Friend, who is a really underrated rapper from New York and an independent rapper as well. You know, he's not signed to any big record labels. And it comes to us after a year since his first studio album entitled Photo, which that one was a really great like summer vibe sort of album. And this also does come to us about 4 months since his first release of 2020 that came out back in January entitled Lyrics to Go Volume 1. And I didn't hear that one because I actually didn't know it came out. So I guess, you know, my bet on that one, but I assume it was just as great as Photo. So Kota the Friend is back at it again with his second project of 2020, and he pretty much gives hip-hop a new sound and pretty much like creates a lot of great feel-good music, which is something that you don't really hear in hip-hop a lot. You know, it's mostly a lot of like hardcore hype shit. So I'm really glad that he did give like a sort of like different like twist to hip-hop, if that makes sense. So as the title suggests, Kota the Friend is on a quest for everything possible that this new life has to offer, both the fame, the money, you know, the good life, just anything that, you know, this life of becoming an iconic person in hip-hop, you know, like has to offer. So, you know, he's pretty much just having fun with it. Honestly, Kota the Friend has come a really long way from being this really weird and nerdy kid just making like music in his bedroom and whatnot, you know, just doing his own thing. And honestly, this album is just a really great change of scenery that makes me really glad to see that he's finally having fun with the shit he's producing, you know, that he's not as serious as he like normally is. You know, he's obviously is shown that he's like not only that he has like matured a lot from being that weird and nerdy kid, but that he also like is like staying true to himself and sort of like just pretty much like I said before, just like having fun with it and enjoying this new life that he pretty much never thought was ever gonna happen to him. Kota the Friend delivers an album filled with really great premium storytelling, some really awesome soothing tunes and vocals, and overall an album filled with nothing but positive vibes. Almost like a Logic album, only I would argue that this one is a bit more better than a Logic album. And I only say that because Confessions of a Dangerous Mind that came out last year, it just wasn't it. Like I thought I really enjoyed it until I went to a Logic concert last year in May, I think, or no, it wasn't in May, it was around August. But when I went to that Logic concert, I fucking realized that I didn't like Logic's new album that much because I didn't know most of the new songs that he made. So yeah, I would definitely argue that this one is a bit more better than Logic's last few projects, I guess. Kota the Friend's lyricism is really clever and his flow is pretty damn impressive. You know, it almost sounds as if he's a part of the Dream World roster because of how poetic and inspiring he is in all of his songs, and just of the amount of wisdom that he spreads throughout the whole album. You know, it almost like makes you wish that he was a part of the Dream World roster, but at the same time you're okay that he isn't a part of it, because he really isn't doing that bad for himself as an independent rapper. And I honestly do believe that this album is living proof of that. To me, the biggest highlight on this album is definitely the production value because of how different it is. You know, I really love that not only is there a lot of great hip-hop vibes throughout this whole album, but that he also included a lot of indie pop, which has been super popular these days. You know, it definitely doesn't sound like the type of rap music that you would hear on the radio all the time. And I honestly can't really compare, you know, this production value to anyone else's, because I can't think of a single rapper that would like do the same style that Kota the Friend does and do equally just as good as he does. You know, it just like really works for him. I really love that not only is there a lot of great acoustic sounds like guitar and ukulele throughout this whole album instead of hardcore rap beats and that typical trap sound, but I also love that Kota the Friend made this album sound a lot more nerdy when it came to the production. You know, a lot of the beats sound like something you would hear in a video game, you know, almost as if he really wanted his nerdy side to come out throughout this whole album. And I think it's a really like great way for people who don't know who Kota the Friend is to like get to know his personality a lot more, you know, sort of for them to realize that, you know, this isn't just like a persona or like an alter ego that he's like putting on for the music industry, but it's also like the way that he has been for a very long time. This album was already super enjoyable with just Kota the Friend himself and his like both production skills and his rapping skills and his vocals and everything like that. But the one thing that I really wasn't expecting on this album was the incredible guest list. Not only does Kota the Friend shine the light on a lot of underrated artists on this album, but he also manages to work well with some pretty modern, you know, rap stars that we have right now. For example, Toby Lou makes an appearance on this album on a track entitled Morocco, and that one is just a really great storyteller. You know, it's a song where Kota the Friend and Toby Lou are doing a sort of tag team vibe and are pretty much comparing their stories with each other, you know, both painting a really great picture of what it's like to be at the bottom with nothing, you know, no hope, you know, just a dream that you wish would come true, and all of a sudden like getting famous and, you know, getting to the point where you have nothing and then you have everything, and, you know, a lot of people like look up to you and are kind on you and see you as an icon. You know, it's a really like great humbling song of, you know, what it's like to like actually start from the bottom. Another underrated artist that makes an appearance on this album is somebody that goes by the name of Hello OShea, who shows up on a track entitled Long Beach. And that one is just a really beautiful song overall. You know, it has that classic R&B, like summer night sort of vibe to it. Hello OShea is somebody who has showed up in a lot of past projects with Kota the Friend. You know, he has really great backup vocals, you know, and combine that with Kota the Friend's like really like soothing voice and his great rapping voice as well. You know, it's just like, it's just something that always like works out tremendously well. And honestly, I can't wait to hear what else they're gonna do next, because he hasn't disappointed me yet, and I'm sure he is gonna like keep on impressing me as Kota the Friend makes a lot more albums with Hello OShea, because, you know, they honestly just have like such beautiful chemistry together when they make songs. So yeah, it's a really like beautiful song overall. And of course, Kota the Friend teams up with fellow New York rappers Joey Badass and Bas, who was a part of the Dreamboat roster, on a song called BQE. And that one was just a song that I never would have expected on a Kota the Friend album, because first of all, it's super hardcore, it's a really awesome lyrical banger, but just, you know, combined Kota the Friend, who is a really talented rapper on his own, you know, like a self-made artist, and, you know, combine him with Joey Badass, who in my opinion is one of the best, you know, rappers from the East Coast that we have in modern day times. And, you know, also combine that with Bas, who is a really like awesome storyteller, you know, spinning a lot of great wisdom, you know, is not afraid to get, you know, dirty and like loud and disrespectful. You know, just combine all three of those and you create a song that is really unique and really beautiful, and something that you would never like thought would have like worked out really well, but it fucking did. And honestly, it was just a really shocking song, because it is something I never would have expected it like in my whole life. And, you know, it honestly like gave hip hop a really like great new sound. And I just truly really enjoyed that song. You know, it was a fucking banger. And since Kota the Friend is a really unique and weird rapper, it would only make sense that he also collaborates with another unique and weird rapper like Kyle, who shows up on a track entitled Always. And that one just made me really happy, mostly because it sounded like the OG Kyle. You know, I don't know how many of you know this, but back in high school, you know, me and my friend Jordan knew who Kyle was before he got super famous. You know, around that time he came out with his very first mixtape entitled Beautiful Loser. And the reason why I love that Kyle so much was because he wasn't afraid to be different. You know, he wasn't afraid to be like weird and nerdy. You know, he stayed true to himself. And now it unfortunately feels that this like new like version of Kyle that we're getting, you know, he just sounds like every other like typical rapper. And I'm just really glad that he like kind of like found his way finally on this song, because, you know, Kyle just sounds so great, so old school, so nostalgic, and Kota the Friend sounds just as great along with somebody like Kyle. And, you know, honestly, it's a really like great and beautiful song, you know, and it makes me glad to be a really like nerdy and like weird kid as well. You know, I honestly like felt that song spoke to me the most. And finally, Kota the Friend includes his son, Little Kota himself, on the final track entitled Everything, where he pretty much reminds not only himself but all of us that he did all of this for his son, you know, to give him the better life he never had, to provide for him, and to pretty much show him that anything is possible. And honestly, I do really love that. You know, I love when rappers include their families, you know, their kids, you know, just everything about their family and in their albums, you know, especially when most rappers wouldn't want to do that for obvious safety reasons. But yeah, I'm really glad that Kota the Friend included so much of his family, not only on this album, but on the past projects that he's dropped as well. I honestly can't think of a single bad track on this album. You know, I enjoyed every song on here, both the production, the lyrics, the hooks, you know, how catchy they were. And overall, I guarantee that a lot of these songs will make anyone happy, even if you're not a hip-hop fan. So fuck it. Every track on here is good. Every track on here is amazing. And I highly recommend this album to each and every one of you. You know, Kota the Friend is a really underrated rapper. He deserves so much props and recognition. You know, he is one of the better, like, independent rappers that we have right now. And he honestly, like, made a really, like, great album just in time for summer, which I guess is kind of, like, ironic and bold to say, because I know for a fact that it's looking like summer is going to be canceled this year because of the virus. But honestly, you don't like have to go outside to like really enjoy summer, or like, you know, just to enjoy the overall like summer vibe. So yeah, I do really think this is a really like great album for the summer, and I honestly can't wait to see what else Kota the Friend does next, because he has honestly impressed the fuck out of me on this album. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my review. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click that bell down below, all that good stuff, so you don't miss a single one of my uploads whatsoever. And don't forget to stay happy.
I want that back in the day, circa 2008. Beer cans by the lake, fall in love for the fate. Find someone in the skate, you poor, I relate. We